I'm Tiffany Sprague. I'm delighted to be here with UNDP STEM for All Digital Platform Initiative. As you heard earlier, we launched this digital space to raise public awareness of the gender barriers to girls' and women's advancement in STEM in Europe and Central Asia, and to show how much more we all prosper when women participate in STEM. So STEM for All serves as a public space that aims to transcend the borders within the STEM ecosystem, so we can all come together to share knowledge among our fellow teachers, businesses, policymakers, development practitioners, girls, women, families, so we can all co-create actions to move the needle on gender equality in STEM, such as the initiatives you heard about earlier, like mentorship programs, scholarships, investments in skilling and upskilling. This platform will give visibility to the gender champions and women who are breaking down barriers, profiling their stories and efforts in the form of videos, blog posts, and our podcast, our new one called Chats with STEMinists. If you haven't listened to it, give it a whirl. And today we're so incredibly lucky to have 3 of these gender equality advocates with us for this session to share their stories and to hear their reactions and insights from the grassroots perspective. As the grassroots, they're the critical drivers of social change. So I would like to invite Kyzzhibek Batyrkanova from Kyrgyzstan, Maral Gurbanzada from Azerbaijan, and Nadiia Babynska from Ukraine. So the next 14 minutes or so, this will be a casual roundtable discussion, starting with asking each of our guests to introduce themselves, their current role, and their brief description of how they've addressed gender barriers to get to where they are today. So Kyzzhibek, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, thank you very much, Tiffany, and thank you very much for attending this conference today. My name is Kyzzhibek Batyrkanova. I'm the program director of Kyrgyz Space Program. This is an initiative where an all-female team is building the first satellite of Kyrgyzstan. And we are lucky to host some basic engineering courses for our girls and women in our country. Thank you.
Thank you. Maral?
Hi, my name is Maral Gurbanzada. I am a researcher in artificial intelligence and human-robot interaction. I started my journey with supporting women's political participation around 10 years ago with NDI, and then I worked on various CSR initiatives to also support the women in STEM particularly. During the pandemic, I've held around 30 free webinars on scientific thinking, teaching the scientific mindset and scientific thinking to Azerbaijani women. And currently, I am a mentor at UNDP Azerbaijan Women in STEM program. Thank you.
Thank you. Nadiia, please.
Hello, my name is Nadiia. I'm from Ukraine. I am a founder and coordinator of one of the biggest open data communities in Ukraine. And I also used to be one of the first women who launched Technovation. So I'm very glad to see here Tara, Technovation in Ukraine. It's like all my work regarding empowering and helping girls to go to IT is volunteering, and I have something to share with you and we'll be glad. And I'm very thankful for all our 125 attendees, and I will ask them to write maybe one word that describes STEM for girls. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we'll start with Kyzzhibek again. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this leaky pipeline phenomenon. It'd been interesting to hear about your own lived experiences to this end, especially with respect to the cultural norms and stereotypes that are obstacles, since you are a STEM professional yourself and an advocate in the field. Can you share some of your actual experiences with this?
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a great question, I guess, because this is what motivates me to work daily. And I didn't know this term before I think I knew about the conference, but I knew about this phenomenon because we in our program also focus on the girls dropping out from STEM as they get to university or as they embark on their careers, unfortunately. In my childhood, I would say that girls were never encouraged to be engineers or to become STEM educators or to have STEM career. And once when I told my dad that I would like to be an engineer, I think I was around 12 years old, my father said that, well, you know, probably it's not the best option for you because our labor market is not prepared enough to have engineers, wouldn't have enough jobs, and so on and so forth. And therefore, I was a little bit discouraged from taking the STEM path from the beginning, I would say. And of course, there is also a little bit, I think, amount of pressure from our educators as well, because sometimes the girls and my colleagues who also work with me in our space program, they heard some discouraging opinions from their teachers or university professors saying that it's not very important for girls to learn physics or mathematics because anyway, probably you're going to get married, so it's not your top priority in life. And there is this kind of discouragement, which I guess needs to be taken care of by us, of course. And of course, I do agree with the role models and their importance in our life, because again, in my generation, role models weren't something, especially in STEM, something very common. And therefore, I guess my generation struggled a little bit because we didn't know that we could become engineers. And I'm really glad that nowadays this has become a very actual topic and that we are discussing it during our conference here as well. And the number of role models in our country in STEM are growing. And I think this is a great start for us.
That's right. I had a follow-up question. So what got you through all the stereotypes and all the discouragement? How did you overcome those, you personally?
Well, I guess my friends and my mother, they really supported me. And my mother used to live in South Korea. And after having lived there, she told me that, you know, that software engineering is a very good specialization as well, and you could probably go and study it. And I thought, wow, if my mother thinks that I'm capable of doing that, probably, I think I should probably think about that carefully. And of course, I was a little bit scared at the time, and I did not go to study software engineering at the very beginning, and I regret about it a little bit. But at my university, we had to study programming as part of the data analytics classes. And after that, when I was exposed to programming, I understood that it's not very difficult to do so. And after university, I became even more encouraged to be a part of STEM.
Right, thank you. So encouragement is really key to this end. So I kind of wanted to switch gears here with Maral and to see if she had any. Did you have any reactions to the recommendations made by our speakers so far? Is there any one aspect from any of the speakers prior to this that really resonated with you?
Well, I generally think that I call this boys club testing. Like once you get into the tech field, you realize that it's a boys club, and then you get tested by them. Like, are you just a pretty face, or are you actually smart? So that happens constantly. And there, as the speakers actually, well, it was mentioned in a bit different terms, but it completely resonated with me because it is pervasive. It is so everywhere. It is not only Azerbaijan and Kyrgyzstan. I completely, what Kyzzhibek just said is absolutely what I also felt, being discouraged from going after science, physical science, sciences as a girl, because you will have to sacrifice a lot in order to stay in that field. And I think there are three issues here. I mean, it's part of one issue, but it all starts with the boys club testing, basically, with the rejection of the idea that a female can be just as smart as a man, and constant testing of, are you smart enough or aren't you smart enough? And if you are smart enough, then the second phase is usually you have to make feminine sacrifices, which means that you have to choose either motherhood or professional success, or basically you need to pretend to be more masculine than you actually are in order to fit in. The more agreeable women eventually get pushed out, and more aggressive and the ones that can survive in this masculine environment, they stay and they basically join the boys club, and sometimes also perpetuate this rejection of femininity in people in basically females. So, for instance, I always tell that to our mentees, and just as a advice, like a good advice to other girls, is that so basically, it's not always a good idea to be agreeable. Assertiveness training is very important, and I think everyone who enters the tech field needs to learn how to act assertively and how to show the people, the representatives of this boy club, that you are not going to give in your feminine side in order to fit in. So basically teach and show that a feminine and female style of working is here to stay, and promote it as much as I can. And of course, that is accomplished by making sure that there are actually females that are working in a female style, so that motherhood can be a part of your life, not something that you have to run from in order to have professional success. That's what I think.
Certainly, thank you. Yeah, it's just changing the standard, because right now it seems like the men's standard and their lifestyle is kind of setting the pace, and we're kind of expected to adjust to that. So yeah, thank you for your reactions. I wanted to now move on to Nadiia, and since we are here amongst different stakeholders, and we have these being able to cross-sector conversations here, I wanted to ask, what do you think needs to be prioritized to move beyond dialogue to actively dismantling this systemic and social barriers to women's advancement in STEM careers? I mean, where should we focus our efforts? We're talking about coming out of our silos and talking to one another and really working together. What can we really do to align the needs of girls and women and teachers and employers and policymakers, and really move beyond dialogue to action?
Thank you very much, Tiffany. Yeah. And I'm very glad to read here such kind of very empowering words for women in STEM, such as motivation, challenge, courage, complexity, change. So we can motivate, we can encourage change, we can show that this complexity is not something undoable and unsolvable, and we can be we as a civil society or people, just parents or friends, we can support each other, and we can support those who wants to be in STEM, who wants to try themselves. And if we want to see how we can, what can we do? First of all, we have to look at where these stereotypes and these barriers are formed. For example, if we start from school, yes, when teachers said, say this girl should knit, for example, or should draw, and this guy should code. So it's about the education of teachers, education of those who gives knowledge and who has the authority, some kind of authority for girls and for boys as well, and also create a space in schools, in kindergartens, in higher educational institutions. Create a space when women can show themselves, and they can be themselves and can choose what they want. They are not framed. And this is about the general policy of gender equality on the state and local level. So it's a huge problem and huge challenge that should be somehow taken by our governments. Regarding civil society, and as we have here a lot of donor representatives, it's about the long-term projects. Because, for example, Technovation, as we implemented it in Ukraine, we started it by our own, using our resources, using our time, and pro bono, working day and night on helping school girls to enter into IT entrepreneurship. But you understand that it's not sustainable, and you will drop out. Kids will drop out, mentors will drop out, because it needs to be supported and in long-term perspective as well. Because we had this challenge. After this challenge, kids, I tried myself, maybe I win, maybe not, and I forgot about it. Now we have to support those who shows interest to IT, for example, or to other STEM disciplines. So we have to have these. We will have someday this state support, but we have also somehow to support it from the civil society side. And another side is business. So it's about social responsibility, awareness of business, that we have to support gender equality, we have to support women in STEM, we have to support some labs, some challenges, some programs for girls in STEM, and we have to create for them this space to try, because maybe girl will not like STEM, but she has to have this option to try without any judgments. And for me, the main challenge was during, for example, Technovation project implementation, to explain the society why we need these girls program, only for girls program. Why do we need to encourage, to help, to assist, to support women in their journey, and only women? Why why should we create this safe space for them to unleash they force and they will to be in STEM? And it's very hard to explain it. So maybe some kind of also popularization, some kind of campaign, information campaign, can help to to share this knowledge that this is very important for girls to be in this safe space, and to develop these skills, and to make themselves not scary in doing some things. And also another thing that I'm sure that should be done is that nevertheless, women are in STEM or not, there should be a high level of non-tolerance of any sexist jokes, any sexism from younger age till older age, but no sexism. Without this sexism, surrounding, I hope it will somehow change the mindset, and it will lead to other cultural changes and institutional as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nadia. Well, I wish I had more time to talk to you all three. This opportunity to speak with you today has really been an honor. We've heard a lot of, it's so good to hear the voices on the ground, so to speak, and to see the lived experiences of the women in STEM and those that are promoting gender equality across the region. So thank you very much. I hope that this is just the beginning of our conversation online and offline. I will definitely put the STEM for All website in the chat for all of you, because I know what we've heard today is really sharing our experiences and giving visibility to all the good things that are happening. That's part of it. It's half the solution is knowledge is power. So and do get in touch with us. So and on the STEM for All website link, there's a place where you can share your own stories and insights, and we'll be launching a storytelling campaign after this so that we can continue and amplify all the voices. But again, thanks to Kyzzhibek, Maral, and Nadia for their time and showing us what is possible.